Hi, my name is Jamie. This is a tutorial to show you how to take a controller out of the box with zero config, provision APs to that controller, and allow yourself internet access through the wireless SSID that you configure. In this video, we're going to work out how to get your home lab off the ground. So let's say you have a fresh controller with no config on it. If you will take and plug just any old Ethernet cable into it and then attach it to your laptop, your PC, whatever you intend to configure it with, you will obtain a 172 address. And if you'll open up a browser, you can hit the GUI if you navigate to 172.16.0.254. And when you do that, you'll be presented with this screen. So what we want to do for this instance is this is going to be a standalone controller. So let's accept that or continue. And it's going to be for campus WLANs. Let's continue on. And here's where you can name it. So we'll name it Airheads Lab. And this is something you can name it whatever you want. And select your country code. I'm in the US. So if you're logging in with the username admin, this will be the password for that username. So let's set the password. And then for enable mode, this is for CLI access. So let's set the password for it. And then set your time zone, Eastern time. And then check to see if the time's correct. Okay. So let's go, after you get that configured, let's hit next. And then licenses. We need to add licenses. The license enables the functionality of the controller. So let's add, here we'll add an access point license. We'll add a firewall license. Let's add an RF protect. And a path license. Excellent. Okay, so after you've added all of your licenses, let's hit next. And this is where you need to tie the controller to the network that you currently have. Say if you're at home, this will be whatever your router is set to. So let's add a new one. We'll just call this lab. Now let's add a VLAN. VLAN 25. Let's set the address and subnet mask. Hit OK. And then port members, you can set this. I'm using the uplink as port 0. And let's hit next. Again, and the controller address will be in VLAN 25. Now let's set the default gateway, which will be your home router or whatever device you have upstream. Let's hit next. And we'll hit next. Okay, so let's add 25. Well, not add 25. Let's change port 0 to VLAN 25. Hit next. And this is saying that it's about to push the configurations that we just set to the controller. And here we can create AP groups, which will be for the access points we add later on. So let's go ahead and create a new group. Okay. Now we're going to specify the network name or SSID. And there's that. So let's hit OK. and next. And this is the forwarding mode from the access point. We just want it to a basic tunnel back. And here you can specify what type of clients are allowed to connect. And we want to broadcast the SSID. We're not going to hide it. Let's select VLAN 25. Now this can be guest or internal, but for this case we're going to go with internal. We're just going to go with an open network. We don't want a captive portal, but again, if you desire it, by all means. The default role, this says what the client is allowed to do. We're just going to allow free reign, so we're going to set that to authenticated. And we finished the group configuration. So let's hit continue. And here's the whitelist. This is where controller plane security will pull the MAC addresses to allow the APs to associate to the controller. We're going to do auto serve provisioning. So let's just enable it, and we'll allow all. Although you can specify if the AP is in a certain address range, you can do that as well. So let's hit next, and here's just a summary of the config. So let's hit finish, and it's pushing it to the controller. So now we can start a ping to the address. You see we're getting a reply. Now it will have to reboot to assume all of the new configurations, so this ping will start timing out while the controller reboots. And this will take several minutes to complete the boot process. So right here the controller has finally powered off and is beginning the cycle. Alright, so now the controller has finished rebooting. So we can now we can get the GUI. So let's go hit the address that you configured. In this case, it'll be 168.25.3. Okay, so let's log in with admin and then the password that you set. Okay, while it was booting, I plugged in an AP, so let's see if it has came up. Yes, so we have an unprovisioned AP, so we need to add this AP to the AP group that we configured. So let's go to configuration, AP installation, and here it is. So check the box and then hit provision. Oh, I got ahead of myself. So when an AP associates with a controller, it will download the new version and then it will reboot and come back. So we'll give it just a second to reboot. So it's back up, so let's provision it now. So let's add it to Airheads Lab, and you can rename it to whatever you want it to be, and then hit apply and it will reboot once again. Okay, so the AP has come back up. So you can see now it's in the proper group, and it's up, and it gives you here's some details on the AP. So once the radios come on, we will be seeing the SSID, and here it is. So let's connect, and we have connected. So now your lab is up and running. Okay, since we're connected now, let's test to make sure we can get out. So right off you'll see that we have 1.15 gigahertz client. That's us. That's where we just connected. So let's just quickly see if we can hit another site. And we're good. Good there.